Hi guys, this is Rachel Madsen, and today I'm going to be showing you how to peg a pair of pants. I know skinny jeans are really popular, and if you're like me, sometimes it's really hard to find jeans that fit you properly. And if you want skinny jeans, it's, it can be even harder to find. So I'm going to show you how to take any old pair of pants and peg them so you can have your own skinny jeans. The first step, obviously, is to put them on. And there's a couple measurements you're going to need to take. So I already did mine because you don't want to see me taking my pants on and off. But the first place you want to pin, as you can see right here, is you always want to pin along the outside. You see this seam? This is the seam that you're going to take in, not this one. So you always want to pin the outside of your leg. So you want to pin down around your ankle. As you can see, there's my little pin right there. And when this is flat, it'll look something like that. See how skinny that is? You want to make sure there's enough room for your foot to come in and out. So we're just making it a little bit tighter. And then the second place you want to pin is right up here along your thigh, in a place just before it gets too tight. So there should be a little extra pull. What we're going to do is we're going to ease into all of that. So see how I pinned everything on the outside? Don't worry about that. We'll repin it on the inside. You just want to put them on really fast, do quick double pins, and then you can go from there. Ooh. Then you take your measuring tape. So if you have a notepad, you might want to write these measurements down. If you don't, you'll just have to remember them. That's what I do. So down here at the bottom, we're actually going to take my pants down to 4 3/4. So right to that line, that's where I'm taking mine to. So that's how big my diameter is going to be. That's how big. Actually, I think I'm going to do 4 1/2, just because that's what I want. So I'll do 4 1/2. So I know down at the bottom, my ankle, I need a 4 1/2 diameter opening. And then you're going to take your pin and you're going to measure all the way up this side seam to where your second pin is. And so mine is actually, I'm super lucky because mine's exactly 22. That's where my pin is at. So I'm going to remember that. 4 1/2, 22. Those are the only measurements you'll need to know. So then you take your pins out. Don't forget your measurements. 4 1/2, 22. And then you're going to want to take your seam ripper and take out your hem, because you don't need that right now. It's easy to tell the inside seam from the outside seam. The inside seam, it always has some sort of a top stitch going on. These pants are so weird because they have 3 stitches, which just makes it like super thick and annoying, but that's the inside seam. This is the outside seam. This is the seam we're actually going to take in. So you get your pants. Mine are 4 1/2. Sorry, my dog's in here with me. So you take your pants, you take your measuring tape. I keep dropping mine, I'm sorry. And you measure over whatever your measurements were. Mine are 4.5. So I measured down 4.5. And then I'm going to go back up 21. Super important. When you're measuring up, you see the fold right here for the hem? That needs to be your starting place because that's where your hem ended. So you need to make sure that that's your starting place, otherwise your pants are not going to be right. So you measure from your hem. Mine go up 22. And so I'm putting my pin sideways like that so I know it's a stopping point, otherwise I'll just mow over it. So now you have your starting point, your stopping point. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to sew it on my machine. I'm using a navy thread. Since there is no top stitching, this is just on the inside, you can literally use whatever color you want. I try to stick with blue because I'm sewing blue pants and it just makes sense to me. But it really doesn't matter because no one's going to see the stitches, they're on the inside. Oh, also I am using I think it's a 118 needle. Because it's denim, you want to use a thicker needle anytime you're sewing denim, vinyl, I don't know, canvas. You have to use a thick needle. That's just kind of like common sense. So where the hem is, I'm pretty much just going to sew up and make sure it's straight. Because I have to put that hem in later. I have to put that hem back in later, I should say. And then I'm going to sew the rest of this at an angle. That's why I didn't pin any more. I'm going to use this as my guide and just kind of eyeball it. So you just sew at a really gradual angle. So voila. This line here, you can hardly see it, but that's my stitch. And that's the new size of my pants. So then I take it and I'm going to do a second stitch next to the first one, and I'm just trying to lock these stitches in because it's denim and it frays. I don't know if you can tell. I actually see the double stitch running right there. And so in between this, I'm going to do a zigzag stitch. So your machine should have a zigzag lock, and I'm doing kind of a wide one. You might have to adjust your spacing depending on what kind of a machine you have. I have a really old, mine's a Singer Deluxe 77025, so it's like a really old model, and I have to do a lot of hand adjusting. So voila, that's what my inside seam looks like. And then I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut along this front seam. Ta-da! I now have a skinny jean. And then you just take your pant, you fold it back over. You can see. Repin it down. You can do a machine hem, whip stitch. I think I'm gonna whip stitch it because it's super skinny and I don't feel like taking my thing off. hate having loose strings. It's like the most annoying thing ever. Okay, and then you just do whatever you want to do. You can use your machine. I'm just going to do a quick whip stitch. That works pretty much for me. Flip it right side out, and voila! You have a pair of skinny jeans. And then you pretty much just repeat that on the other leg. Same thing, 4.5, 22 inches, depending on what you want. So that's pretty much it for today. So thank you for watching my tutorial.